Hi everyone, welcome to Las Vegas Revealed, where we go behind the scenes of Las Vegas professionals, getting insight on work success and work drama.
Meet Robert Richman, founder of Zappos Insights, which was once an in-house publication for Zappos.com, then became a driving force for cultural changes in the workplace.
So Rob, first of all, I would like to start this interview out with thanking you for having us here.
My pleasure.
It's amazing. You seem like a really awesome guy, so that's always a plus.
Thank you.
So how did you find your way to Vegas?
Yeah, I was living in LA at the time, and I was representing best-selling business book authors, marketing their books. And one's called Tribal Leadership, and it's all about culture and upgrading culture. And I got a copy to Tony Hsieh of Zappos, because I heard so much about the culture at Zappos. And Tony had a plan for something called Zappos Insights, which is actually a business around the culture itself. So many people were asking about how do you create a great culture, and wanting to meet with so many people within Zappos, that there was a real business opportunity there. So I first came in as a consultant, launched the first event, the first paid event really for Zappos, and then it turned into a business, and I came to run the department full time.
Nice. Now, what is corporate culture? You're talking about all this culture. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I oftentimes ask people, what do they think culture is? And I've heard hundreds of different answers. But culture itself, I've really come to believe, is the feeling that you get when you're at any organization or place. And you can feel it immediately when you walk into a room. And Zappos has become really well known for being a culture where everybody really loves to work there. Everybody's happy all the time, and you get it instantly. Right when you walk in the door, you can tell people are just very, very happy.
Could you tell us some interesting stories about working at Zappos, maybe some work drama, you know, some ups and downs?
Yeah, you know, people sometimes compare it to being like high school or summer camp there because it's just got such a young, fun flavor to it. In fact, the all hands meetings, when the whole office shuts down to have a half-day meeting, it's actually more like a Broadway musical than anything. There's actually dance numbers and videos and skits, and so it's literally like created drama there. It's like a camp show.
And you are now a Las Vegas public speaker.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I speak at conferences here, at keynotes. I also travel to companies for their events and to be on site, and I speak about company culture, about outstanding service, the connection between culture and service, and also creating a culture of innovation. Okay,
so you've traveled in the US all over. How about the world?
Yeah, I've traveled to Malaysia to speak, to Ireland. I actually spoke at Google headquarters, Europe, which is in Dublin, and spoke to them about their new customer service program, which is through the phone, which is new for them. So I spoke to them and developed workshops for them around connecting their culture to developing more of a culture of service for their new phone offering.
So you've traveled the world. I mean, you've spoke to thousands of people, and you are now coming out with a book, correct? Okay, tell us a little bit about that book.
Yeah, it's called The Culture Blueprint. It's based on 3 years of research that I did, not only about Zappos as a culture, but all the other companies that went through there and the ones that I visited, and started to recognize trends as to what makes up for culture and how it really operates, and what leverage points there are that you can use to shift it or change it and create the culture that you want. So it's an actual plan, a blueprint for anybody who wants to impact a culture, whether it's a CEO or somebody who's just really passionate about their company and wants to create a great place to work where people enjoy going every day.
So do you have any quotes that you like to follow?
Yeah, all kinds. There's several that I've developed. One that's guiding it that is not mine is Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast, which is just to say that no matter where you think it's going, the culture is really driving it more than anybody else. Culture is always co-created. It's never simply created, meaning it's the responsibility and production of every single person within there.
So you've done a lot of successful things in your lifetime, I'm sure, and as we all know. Can you, what other successful things have you done?
I would say, like, as for a moment, it was a moment where I started a web development company with friends in Washington, D.C., and one of the pinnacle moments of that was going up against a huge Microsoft-backed web development company for a major consulting firm in DC. And I was going against my own mentor to get the deal. And through our meetings and getting to know the client, really figured out what they wanted and had a great relationship there and beat out a much, much bigger company to get the deal and help them with their web presence. So that was a big moment for me.
Can you describe the moment when you knew that you were part of something in Las Vegas?
Yeah, there was a great moment where the boot camp that we developed in Zappos Insights, during the early stages of it, we would have the dinner portion at Tony's house. And we got there and gathered for that celebration. And I saw them all just completely lit up and loving life and recharged about their business and excited. And they were from such different walks of life and areas of business, and yet they all got it.
How does the business take advantage of the culture?
Yeah, well, the first step is to recognize that it's always on. Culture is never off or started. It's always there. There's always a culture going on. So the first step is really understanding what is going on. And then once they understand that, then you can start to look for things. One of the things I advise people to do with the culture immediately is actually see what can you destroy. Because it takes years to build something, but you can destroy something in an instant. So if something's not working well, then you can take that away quickly and boom, improve the culture.
Yeah, you're clearly really passionate about the corporate culture. What inspired you?
Companies, all they are is huge groups of people together. And I realized that if I can figure out the secrets to helping people on a corporate level, on a group level that way, like that's what can really transform the world, because that's where we go every day. So if we figure out the workplace, if we figure out how to create this as a great place where everybody loves to be and be happy, then that could hold the answer to really making everybody happy in the world and sharing that. And that's what excites me.
You are really busy. What do you do away from all of this, away from the work, away from the business?
Oh, I love cycling. I love hiking through Red Rock. Yoga is really nice. I love meditating and just sleeping. It's really enjoyable.
Sleeping is always a good one.
Yeah.
I agree. Some companies don't see the corporate culture effective in a short run. How can it be effective in the long run?
These things don't affect it so much in the short term for the bottom line. But if you believe in this, if you believe that the energy of your team is going to have a direct impact on the results of the company, then these kind of cultural initiatives can free up a lot of energy that you can then use toward these strategies.
Okay, great. And you're starting something else, or how long have you been doing this reboot? The Weekend Reboot.
So Weekend Reboot, yeah, it's at weekendreboot.com. It started off with just friends simply visiting me here in Vegas. And I realized how powerful it is to be here in Vegas. I really feel there's an energy vortex here, and people really get to come here and get away and really rethink about their lives.
So you're helping a lot.
I love helping. It's a lot of fun.
That's good. Is there anything else that you would want to tell all the Las Vegas professionals out there today?
Well, I would say that, like, what I see happening with Vegas right now is it's really going to be expanding into, for one, a tech boom. So I think that we're going to see more and more businesses coming here as a hub. And the other thing that I've realized about Vegas is it's an amazing place of change, where if you just ask anyone, how did they get here? And you hear the most amazing stories of people coming here and very quickly shifting their lives and having something happen. Whatever their thoughts are in Vegas, I think Vegas is going to take off beyond what we've ever thought it would be.
I agree with you there. I really do. All right, thank you very much, Robert, for chatting with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here with Ginah Lasta and Rob Ponte from Sinner Magazine. These two interesting and creative minds are going to give us an inside scoop on the risky topics from our Sin City locals. I also gained greater insight into the not-so-obvious Vegas culture.
Thank you for having me here today, Ginah. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I moved to Vegas about 6 years ago, and I moved in '06, and I just came from an advertising and publishing background. I actually worked at Shape magazine for about 7 years. I've always kind of just been a free spirit, creative soul, and always wanted to do my own thing.
That sounds fun. Can you tell me something that none of your colleagues know about you?
I don't think there's anything possibly that would surprise any of them.
Listen, just happen.
Yes.
Were you all friends before Sinner magazine?
The other members of the magazine I was friends with, but Rob came into the circle from a mutual friend, and then we've just become really good friends since then.
Do you guys model after any other magazine, or you kind of want to make this one your own?
We're absolutely our own. We don't follow any rules whatsoever. When we did a story on downtown, the new downtown, which is the Smith Center, the government building, and the World Market and all that stuff, you know, I think everybody would take the route of just going down there and photographing it. Well, we built the buildings out of construction paper, including the Lou Ruvo Institute, which was not easy. And then we did it all night. And then Ponte went through and just drew all the windows and put all the detail on it.
What are your top priorities when deciding what goes into Sinner magazine?
Very important to me is that whatever we're writing about is something that we truly believe and something that we really like. We will never put anything that we feel is like off-brand for us or doesn't fit into our demographic, because we feel that credibility is everything. And I feel that a lot of the magazines in this town are so advertorial run that nobody believes the bullshit anymore.
You guys have probably seen some crazy stuff, trying to find topics. What is the weirdest thing that you've seen?
One of the things that we really pride ourselves on in the magazine as well is we try to create this community within. And so every month we do, or every issue, we do this thing called Sinner Says. And there are these sayings that organically grow during the making of an issue. You know, Ponte's known in our group as the cartender because we'll go to bars and stuff and Ponte will have a full trunk of booze and we drink out of his car.
Looking onto your website, you guys have a bunch of different topics, from adrenaline junkie to drug addiction to addicted to tattoos. Can you tell me a little bit about those topics?
That was actually from our last issue. We did the Vice issue. And so it covered all the different addictions. The entire issue was about addiction, whether it was addiction to shopping or addiction to tattoos or addiction to adrenaline. Like, this is the real Vice City, I think. And so that was our Vice issue. And so on our website, because that was the most current issue, that's what it all is. So before that issue, we did a downtown issue, so everything was downtown related.
In the adrenaline junkie topic, there was something I found very interesting. You guys had an infographic of safe ways to use drugs. Can you explain a little bit about that?
There's so many drugs out there, and you know, you're instilled, like, all the things that you learn in DARE, obviously you unlearn. And so what we wanted to do was kind of put out a guide for drugs based on the duration of how long a drug lasts, the intensity, the side effects, the street names. So it's actually kind of like, for anybody who's never done drugs or anything, it was very informative.
So what has changed over the years with Sinner magazine?
We took the size of the magazine, which was full size. It was like a 9x11. And now it's actually 6x6. It's a mobile magazine, and everything has QR codes so that if you're engaged by the pictures and the headlines, you could use your smartphone to click it, and then it'll take you to so you can still read your online content, but you also have it with you. You can carry it with you. It's not a bulky piece, and and we're able to save on print as well. So I think that that's by far the biggest thing that has changed, is just readers' behaviors. I mean, mainly that's a big thing.
Did you guys always have a website for Center Magazine?
We did. I would say, I mean, Rob was the guy that came on like pretty early in the game and started taking care of our website and stuff.
You guys are a magazine that lives by no rules. I'm sure there are a ton of misconceptions. Can you give us one of the main misconceptions?
I think the most common thing is the name. A lot of people think Center could be either sacrilegious or something bad, and it's not necessarily anything good. You know, if you come from New York, you're a New Yorker. Well, if you come from Sin City, you're a Sinner. That's how we look at it. So I think that that's the biggest misconception, is that it sounds a lot worse than it is.
Starting a business and a magazine is hard work. What kind of advice would you give to anybody out there trying to do the same thing?
Passion is everything. I mean, without passion, this magazine would never see the light of day. Like, it is 100% run on passion, because, you know, we do it because we love it, and whatever you're covering, I think the best advice to give to somebody that was going to start a magazine is know what you're talking about and love it and be ready to give up everything to do it.
So how do you guys make money off of Center?
For me, especially, I do not do it for the money, you know, and I should be doing it for the money, but I think that that's my soul, is that looking at all these other magazines that are doing a lot of advertorial, like, kudos to them because they are making money, but I can't sleep at night knowing that I wrote about something because I got paid for it.
How many issues have you released?
We just put our last one made our 6th issue. That was our 6th issue that we put out.
And for each issue, how many magazines do you guys print out?
We usually try to go between 2,000 and 5,000.
2,000 to 5,000, that's a lot. Do you guys have a certain place you target?
Definitely all the places like, you know, hipster, downtown, art, places like that's a lot of it. Also just a lot of the restaurants and boutiques and stuff that people our age would shop at, our target demographic.
So you're talking a lot about this culture in Vegas. You tell me in your words how you find the culture unique.
You know, there are some people that have come here and have jobs on the Strip and, you know, do the 9-to-5 thing and work for hotels. But generally, that's not the culture in Vegas. The culture is either you have a day job and then you have a passion project. I think that's a big thing here. Like, almost everybody I know has a regular job and then has, like, something that they really care about after hours.
Thank you so much for chatting with us today. How can people get a hold of you?
Of course, we're on Facebook. So facebook.com/centermag, and our website is centermag.com, and you can find us on Twitter, all that stuff, but centermag.com.
We're on everything.
Yeah.
Centermag.com, or you can pick up one of our magazines if you're hanging out downtown. You may have to look for it, but you know, it'll be there. So.
Yeah.
Creative Collaboration is a business development firm focused on growing enterprises in Las Vegas.
All right, Bonito, thank you very much for having us here today. All right, so can you tell us a little bit about your company?
A lot of fun to run. As you know, I'm the president, so I get to see a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs who just have an idea, and then, you know, within a month their idea turns into a business. That's really at the crux of what Creative Collaboration does. All those entrepreneurs who have ideas working with entrepreneurs with their ideas too.
It sounds like a lot of work there. I mean, you kind of need a team,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
So how many people do you have working for you?
Well, in my business strategy team, we have 8 business strategists in our marketing division, headed up by my director, DeMarco here. He has nine people in his division. You know, and then we have contractors, subcontractors, all in all 41, but people who are consistent, 17.
Does everyone get along really well? Is there any miscommunications
Oh, yeah.
ever?
Oh, you know, people are mature, people are, they get the vision. They get we're out there to help people. They get that everyone has a gift, and it's just up to us to get it out of them and to share it with the world. So once everyone kind of buys in to the vision and they're all about it, the culture is very friendly. Everyone is just kind of, I mean, not kumbaya type, you know, but they do get along.
There's a lot of consulting firms that do such as you do, correct? I mean, they make things happen in the Las Vegas area. Do you find those other businesses competition?
There are firms that are management firms, accounting firms that do your taxes, lawyers who maybe just do your contracts, and then there's incorporators. There are all these bits and pieces that are just scattered, and you have to go to each and every different place and have to make a million stops just to build the one company, just to turn your idea into an actual business. You know, what I noticed, by the time it's an actual business, you know, you've lost your passion, you've lost your drive. With us, it takes us less than 2 weeks, and you've come from the smallest idea to something that's a tangible business that you can walk into with, you know, you got your website, your merchandise, everything, and it's within 2 weeks.
So how do you see creative collaboration in 5 years? What do you want to see from this business?
Sure. In 5 years, we would be what I like to call mind share. Whenever you think about entrepreneurialism or entrepreneurship, you think of creative collaboration. When you think of starting something, like if you already have a company, you want to start a new division, you think of us. If you just have a little money saved up and you want to have a side business, you think of us. If you want to start your own business, quit your job, you think of us. I want us to be in the minds, the forefront of everyone's mind who has an idea. You know, and I want them to think of us with all the qualities that I like to run the company with, like fairness, kindness, excellence, respect, honesty, integrity, service, contribution. Those qualities that I like to instill through our company. I want them to think of us that way.
Do you plan on venturing out of Nevada?
Yeah, but my home, our headquarters will always be here. Our command center.
You're committed.
Yeah, our command center will be here. I love Vegas through and through. I love the fact that it's growing. I love the fact that young people like me, young, goofy people that aren't really that talented like me, can just come here and make something of themselves. You know, and it's something good for the community too.
So what is the difference between somebody coming to you with product and somebody coming to you with service?
It's a difference of resources, really. So if you already have a tangible product, that means you've already invested the assets into it. You've already invested the money into it. It's just a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time, and it usually takes less time, because if a customer or if a client or a prospect sees a product, they can automatically identify with it a lot easier than if it were just some idea, some kind of, you know, service, right? So if it's a service, as I mentioned, the difference is in resources. So if it's a service, it takes a lot more time, but it takes a lot less assets to invest into it.
How can people find you, and how should they prepare themselves for the first meeting?
Eventually, I'd like for us to be everywhere and right next to you. I know, creepy, but I want us to be everywhere, you know, especially on apps, especially in your phone. I want to be able to I want someone to be able to, and when I say this is in future, this is really soon. I want the app to be right in that person's hand. If they have the idea, they just boop, 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 and then they, you know, in a matter of 2 weeks, they'll have their business up and running. We'll work 80-hour weeks just to get it done.
Thank you so much, Bonito. It was really amazing chatting with you tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you'd like to be the next Vegas professional on Las Vegas Revealed, contact us. Thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, I'm Angel French.